Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What is your name?
Jennifer.
What's your full name?
Jennifer Lee.
Lay.
Is it? No, it's Lee.
Wait, L-Y?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Lee then.
Lee?
Yeah, it is Lee.
In
You're right.
Vietnamese, it's Lee. And in Chinese, it's
No, because in Vietnamese they have y ngắn, y dài. Y ngắn is the I, y dài is the Y. But it's pronounced the same in Vietnamese. What is your full name?
my Vietnamese name is Lee Ba Long. Lee Ba Long.
It's not long as in like a can, right?
No, it's Bao Long as in
Spell long.
Luon.
Oh, Luong. Luong.
Bao Luong.
L-U-O-N-G. Oh, I thought it's Lan. Oh, it's Luong. L-U.
Luon. Yes.
No, Luon. Luon?
Luong.
Like chơi luon? What the heck? Your name is Bảo Lan. There you go. Oh my god. I was gonna ask her, but then she walked away from me.
What?
I was gonna ask her. Why?
I grew up with it.
Ai có thể hỏi anh một câu á, tên Loan á. Lan này dịch lại tiếng Anh.
Bảo Loan.
Tên cái chữ là
Bảo Loan.
Bảo Loan.
Yeah.
Ý nghĩa
Thôi cái này chắc là em khó.
Can you say,
Tại vì cái tên mà muốn dịch ra tiếng Anh.
không khó.
can you say a strong woman with a sensitive side?
Chị nói là phụ nữ là mạnh
Mẹ.
Đó,
Dạ.
giống không?
Dạ cũng.
But
hơi
also,
Dạ đúng rồi.
but also something with a
So
feminine
then,
side.
who told you that? Your mom?
Oh, who told me that?
How did you know me?
I saw you on Instagram.
How many months ago?
I think a few months ago.
Yeah.
Recently, I've started to follow you because I could resonate with your story about moving to Vietnam, being a FitQ in Canada, and that's the reason.
Wasn't
why
that video where I was like, "Hey guys, I'm moving. I sold
I don't
everything."
know which one it was, but
Was it in like a shirt?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
But about your struggles about being a FitQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to connect with people also struggling with the same thing.
So tell us more about where's home.
Where's home? I live in Amsterdam. I was born and raised there. And
Amsterdam. What's the
The
country?
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. How do you say it?
Netherlands?
Netherlands.
Yeah. Or Holland? No. They say the Netherlands.
And then were you born there, or did you?
Yeah, I was born there. Yeah.
How about your parents?
My parents, they came from Vietnam to the Netherlands. They were both refugees, and I think they came in 1975. Yeah.
So both your mom and
Both my mom and dad.
But they didn't meet in Vietnam. They met in the Netherlands.
No, yeah, they met in the
Right.
Netherlands. So my dad wanted to go to the US, but he stayed in the Netherlands because he met my mom.
Gotcha.
And my dad was like around 17,
Yeah.
and my mom was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was your overall upbringing?
How was my role?
How was your upbringing?
Oh,
How was your childhood?
My parents were always working, and they weren't there much. So I cannot remember much about my upbringing.
What were they working as?
My mom had a nail salon, and how do you wholesale?
Rose?
Wholesale.
Wholesale.
In nails.
Yeah.
And now she has a restaurant, a Vietnamese restaurant, also in Amsterdam. And my dad helps her out.
So then your parents were both always working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mom is working more than my dad. My dad came home around 5, and then make food for us. And my mom, I didn't see her much when I was a child.
Did you know you're Vietnamese growing up?
No,
Netherlands?
I'm actually half Chinese, half Vietnamese. So
Your dad's Chinese?
Yeah, my dad is half Chinese, half Vietnamese, but he grew up in Vietnam.
Your dad raised in Saigon?
Yeah, in Go Yup.
Gò Vấp?
Go Yup.
Gò Vấp?
Go Yup. Go Yup.
Gò Vấp?
So he also went to Chinese school, and yeah.
Is he ethnically Chinese then? Quarter Chinese?
He was also born in Vietnam, so his parents were half.
Okay, and then your mom's full Vietnamese?
My mom is full
From the
Vietnamese. From the south, Long An.
Long An.
Yeah.
So but that's not Saigonese then, so that's like a different, that's not country.
Countryside. Yeah.
Okay. So then, when did you? How did you identify as growing up as a kid? Like you're like, oh, I'm Asian. I'm not like the other Netherlands
I
Dutch
wasn't
people.
thinking like that when I was younger. I just grew up with Dutch people also with a different background, but I didn't consider myself as different, actually. Yeah, and now I identify myself as in a person with different cultures.
Did you realize you're Asian growing up in the Netherlands? Like at all? You're like, no, I'm just like everybody
I
else.
think I did, but I didn't see it as a bad thing. I could appreciate that I had a different background, that I spoke multiple languages.
Yeah.
The only thing was that with my family, I couldn't connect to them because we didn't grew up with the Vietnamese language.
So what did you speak with to your parents?
I
Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese and Dutch.
So you're fluent in Cantonese?
Not fluently, as in I'm not using it as much anymore.
But as a kid,
As a kid, I did.
you speak Guangdonghua.
Xíu xíu.
Ngõ xích.
Ngõ
Nây xích. Nây xích.
Ngõ xích.
Nây.
Ngõ xích means I eat.
Oh.
Ngõ xích.
Xích. Oh, it's a tone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ngõ xích
You eat
Guangdonghua
Chinese.
xíu xíu.
Nây
Ngõ.
xích.
Ngõ.
No, you.
Yeah, nấy xích.
Nây xích.
Yeah.
Guangdonghua.
Xíu xíu.
Xíu xíu.
Yeah.
That's all you know?
I can order dim sum. I can survive.
How do you say
I
one?
think.
Long go.
Yat.
Yat call.
Yat go.
Yat call.
Yeah.
Hangao.
But I have an accent speaking Chinese, as in a Vietnamese accent.
So then, when did you start learning Vietnamese?
I think a few years ago, maybe 5,
How?
when I worked at my mom's restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and her staff, they all spoke
Oh.
Vietnamese. So I had to speak Vietnamese to them.
Oh, so that's how you learn.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So this is as an adult.
As an adult,
Wow,
yeah.
that's tough.
I was exposed to Vietnamese though as a child, but I couldn't understand what they were saying, and I didn't speak the language then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you wanna? So pretty much the restaurant
Yeah.
made you wanna learn Vietnamese culture.
Yeah, because I think language is a way to connect with people.
100%.
And I couldn't connect with my own family in the Netherlands as I didn't speak Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So I always felt like an outcast or not included or something like that.
But then you said you felt. This is the Vietnamese culture though.
What?
But you said in the Netherlands you're okay, right? You felt.
Yeah, with the Chinese culture, I identified myself more with the Chinese culture, and as I grew older, I identify more with the Vietnamese language
Yeah.
or culture.
Culture.
Yeah.
And then how do you identify today? Who do you identify as? Who are you?
This is such a difficult question, as in
It's open-ended.
multiple
Do
cultures.
you
as
consider yourself
in,
Dutch?
not 100%. Like, I consider myself as Dutch, Vietnamese, and also Chinese.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to learn more about my culture, not only the Vietnamese side, but also the Chinese side.
Yeah. Were you? This is the question I ask to everybody, and it depends on where you are. It's like, were you ever bullied?
I was never bullied,
Yeah.
as in maybe microaggression, but yeah, I wasn't
Never
bullied.
faced any like discrimination or like.
Probably like micro discrimination, yeah. Especially during Corona, I think that people were more towards Asian people.
Yeah.
But overall, I had a pretty good childhood.
Yeah. Why are you here?
In Vietnam? Why am I here in Vietnam? I think I was trying to search for myself, or I just wanted to be somewhere else than Amsterdam and be more with the people, connect more with the culture.
Because you've been here like more than just. It's not your first time.
No, it's not my first
Yeah.
time. I've been here multiple times, but it was only visiting family and not exploring myself. So that's what I wanted to do for myself, to explore the country by myself and go to the north side. I didn't do it though, but yeah, being alone, traveling alone. Yeah, that's what I always wanted to do.
So, with your parents, how's your relationship with them?
How's my relationship with them?
Can you openly talk about like your struggles?
Not really. I always have to. They're not really an emotional support for me
Yeah.
because they don't know how to deal with emotions and their own feelings. So I don't expect them to. And I know they're too busy with their own things. So the relationship, I don't really often speak to them, only about the practical stuff.
And you speak to them in what language?
Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah.
And are they pretty efficient at Dutch?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm lucky with my parents that their Dutch is pretty good, and that's why my Vietnamese and Chinese.
You don't need to.
No, I don't need to.
So you can talk to them, which is rare.
Their Dutch is basic, as in, yeah, I can talk to them, but I think the emotion level, or yeah, they find it difficult when talking to, yeah, difficult stuff, as in feelings.
Share, like, what was the biggest thing that you were able to relate with my content?
Relationship with your parents, self-discovery, putting yourself in an uncomfortable environment, I guess.
Because you told me off camera, it's like you don't want to live in the Netherlands. So like, tell them first, like, what did you do back home?
What do I want?
What did you do back home?
Oh,
like,
what did I do? I owned a restaurant for 3 years.
What kind of restaurant?
A Vietnamese restaurant. We
What did you
started
sell?
3 years ago, and we had banh mi, phở, chai bún.
So southern food.
Yeah, but also non-traditional Vietnamese dishes like loaded fries, chicken wings. We had a pretty small menu, but we also had drinks, as in coconut coffee, cafe soda.
And that business was going very well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it's a shame that I quit my business, but I just wanted to grow more, and I didn't see growth for myself in the business if I stayed there longer.
But if the business was profiting, why would you just end it? Like, what was the main reason to be like, okay, I'm gonna shut down everything?
I think because I got in a burnout, and I'm still recovering from that.
Can you tell us more about like needing a rest and like burning out?
As I said, I'm always putting other people's before myself, and that I think that caused me a burnout. Also, working every day and too much, kind of people pleasing. Also ended a toxic relationship. A lot of stuff happening for me this year. Yeah.
And was there a point where you're like,
I didn't realize I was in a burnout at first because.
Like, what made you realize that? Because like usually it's a point where it's like, I had enough.
Well, you
I
had
need to like. What was that little threshold where you're like?
I didn't feel like I had a choice to be in a burnout, so I kept going.
Why is that?
Asian mentality, I think, because my parents passed that on to us, as in you have to be working hard and not complaining. So I didn't see an option to say to people, "Oh, I'm in a burnout." I didn't even
tired.
know. I didn't even know what a burnout was. So I was denying it, I guess.
Where it's like, for me, burnout's like you wake up and you're like, you don't enjoy anything anymore.
Yeah, but I had it for like a long time, maybe years. But I didn't realize that it was a burnout. Every day it was hard for me to wake up and find a purpose or enjoying things. And at night I didn't want to go to sleep because I don't want the next day to come.
Continue, because you're running a business. It's like
exactly.
clockwork,
So I stayed up late, and this year was the first time I was having an insomnia. And I have that for five times now. So that was also a first. I had panic attacks for the first time. I didn't even realize that it was a panic attack.
Did you tell your parents about your mental struggle, exhaustion?
I try to, but I feel like they don't really understand what it is.
How did you explain it to them?
How did I explain it to them?
Like, I'm burning out, I'm tired, I'm going to shut down the business. Like, what was their first reaction?
Just keep going on.
Yeah,
don't give up, just hold on. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's also tough for us. So, yeah.
So you're like, hey mom, I am...
Or, I'm also stressed. So when they said, like, I'm also stressed and turning around them, then I stopped talking to them as in, okay, you're stressed yourself, so I don't feel like I can come.
Didn't feel safe.
Yeah, it didn't feel safe for me, and I didn't feel like they understand me. So I just kept it for myself, and that was tough, and it had to come out in some other way. So hence the panic attacks and the burnout. Yeah.
And then when you finally closed down, what did they say?
They said that it was for the better, as in it's tough owning a business, and They know that I never wanted to open a restaurant actually. So they just want to see me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
They're not disappointed or something. I tried, and it's a whole experience which I'm grateful for.
I think even though they can't like understand your struggles,
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, every decent parent wants their child to be
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. Yeah.
Even though they can't, just like how we can't empathize with their experience of
Yeah.
Vietnam or whatever they've
Yeah.
been through.
Yeah.
Like I think they still want us to be happy, even if their version of happiness is a little.
Yeah. That's why I try to accept them for who they are and not having expectations for how they should act, because in the end they're also human.
Yeah.
And maybe I had the expectation how a parent should be, but it's not fair to think like that, because their childhood, their upbringing was also tough.
Yeah. But it doesn't take away your
true.
Your lack of like not having like what you needed as a
That's
kid,
true.
right?
So what I try to do is grieve, or sometimes I do write my feelings, but don't put it on them, not blaming them for it.
Yeah.
I just try to accept it, grieve for what I didn't have in my childhood, and be that person for myself instead of expecting it from someone else.
So you told me 2 days you fly back home to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And you said you don't want to go back.
Yeah.
So tell me more.
I think I feel some pressure that I need to be better, but I don't know that. Like
Pressure to be. What do you mean?
Sometimes my mom says to me, "Yeah, you should go to work. Just go to work or do something." And then I feel the pressure. Okay, she doesn't understand me. She doesn't understand what a burnout is, and it gives me more stress. Yeah.
Have you told your mom about your like specifically? I'm having panic attacks or
Not
like,
panic attacks.
Yeah.
No. I don't tell my parents a lot because I always think that they don't understand me, and I also don't want to bother them because I see how much it hurts them for me struggling.
Yeah.
So I rather keep it for myself and try to fix it on my own instead of them also feeling bad. So I have to deal with my own feelings and also my parents' feelings.
But how has that been going for you?
Not.
In terms of like when I see my parents, there's a wall.
Yeah, yeah, there's a wall. But I'm just used to dealing things on my own instead of bothering people. I'm not bothering them, but it feels like a bother for me.
In Vietnamese, there's a term called phiền. Phiền
I don't know that.
is like không phiền người ta. It's like I don't want to burden you.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna deal with the.
But it will bottle up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it's bottling up.
So I try to write. That's why I like to write, listen to music, try to find an outlet in a creative manner.
Yeah. So what's next for you? So you leave and then you're gonna go home.
What's gonna be next for me?
In terms of like burnout, like what's
going to therapy.
Yeah.
Talking to people. I try to be more open as I'm pretty closed off and not sharing my feelings as negative feelings, only showing my positive feelings and always having that mask on. But I'm aware of it and I try to work on it, letting people more in and trying to trust people more and having a close circle and making use of it.
Have you talked to anybody else about your struggles, anxiety and panic attacks?
I did, to my close friends, but still I don't feel safe enough to let myself go, and then I tell them, then I keep my distance because I'm sharing my feelings is a huge step for me. So I get scared when I do that, even with friends. So I isolate myself, and then when I'm okay, I come back.
Yeah, I have that very same where it's like, it's almost like I'll come back stronger. I don't want to show you my weak side. I think it comes from like, I don't know if you've ever seen your parents weak, right? Or complain, or like, I'm tired, I'm stressed.
Yeah. I did.
Yo, you did?
You did. I did. Yeah.
So how did that make you feel? Your parents telling you they're
like I was responsible for how
their happiness or their feelings.
Yeah. So I couldn't share how I was feeling because every time I did, then they would respond with, "Yeah, I'm also stressed. I'm this. I'm that."
Yeah.
You didn't feel hurt.
How old are your parents?
My mom is from 68 and my dad from 63.
What are your thoughts?
On Vietnam? I love it here. I love the food. I love the people. It's
You told me
different.
that you wouldn't, off camera, that you wouldn't move here. You wouldn't live here.
Yeah,
Why?
I would like to live here. I like to put myself in an uncomfortable position
Yeah.
because then I know I'm growing.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a new adventure.
So you would move here,
Yeah, why not?
but not live.
I have commitment issues, so I won't
Wait,
say.
won't you tell me you're gonna buy property here? Didn't you tell me just that you want to
No.
buy property? No, you don't.
Oh yeah, I do.
You do?
Maybe, yes.
Maybe?
Yeah, it's a plan. It's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about. Like I can do this or that. So I'm making a plan in my head for what I can do.
What do you like about here?
There are more options in food. The food is much better and it's cheap, much cheaper than in the Netherlands.
But the thing with cheap, here's the thing, is like we're basing it off like the privilege of Western or European
true,
currency.
True.
So if you take that away, that's
I just like a new adventure, as in a new environment for myself.
because a lot of me, it's like who are Vietnamese, they feel like at home. But
They feel at home.
here,
I
but for
don't
you don't feel that.
Yeah.
You're
yes
just like-
and no. It's
yeah.
like in the Netherlands. I don't feel completely at home. I have more allergies, flare-ups back home, and here
It's better.
it's better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just?
Healthcare is also better here if you have
I'm gonna
money.
play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
here, and I'm like, do you think that's because you shut down the business and you're able to step away, and then now your body's like more calm?
Yeah. Well,
that's-
yeah. Well, I had a flare up after shutting down the business also because I was still in a bad environment. Choosing myself more and more makes me feel much lighter, and I know I'm on a healing road.
Yeah.
So I just need to put myself first, and it's getting better. Yeah.
If there's one thing that you could tell yourself during through the stages of building a business, starting a business and running that, and like getting burnt out, like what would you tell yourself?
Your feelings are valid. Just put yourself first. Have stronger boundaries. Just say what you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to feel guilty or anything about anything you do. You know what's best for yourself, as in, how can someone tell me how I should feel or what I should do? Like, they don't know how my life is. They're not standing in my shoes. Going through that business and the burnout, I see it more as a lesson and experience rather than a mistake or I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Because like when we think of like entrepreneurship now in this age, it's like a cool thing. It's like starting.
Is
like,
it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I have a business. But-
Everyone wants success, as in
Yeah, like the money, blah, blah, blah. But like people don't realize like how lonely like being an entrepreneur is.
Mm-hmm.
How challenging it is, and how much people can actually fail. On top of that, you see like maybe the 10-20% that succeed on social media.
Yeah.
80% of
Right.
the other ones, they have
Right.
mental health issues. They like go bankrupt.
Yeah.
They're in so much debt where it's like
They only see the results, the success, but they don't see the hard work
no.
or what's happening behind all of that. But that's true because it takes years to build your own business, and like
Because
you
you
said,
took your knowledge from your parents, right? Your parents
Yeah,
had a shop.
yeah.
Is that shop still going?
yeah, it's still going. But
What are they selling?
also Vietnamese dishes like phở, bún.
You want to put the address?
It's,
Or no?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'll link it in the description.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want to start a business myself at first because I see how hard they working and they never had time for us when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for my own children, so I don't want to be working every day so hard and not having time for my loved ones. And I find it important to see my friends and family.
If there's one thing you could tell to the world, whoever's watching, what would you want to say?
All your emotions are valid. If you're feeling angry, sad, also the negative emotions, it's okay to feel that way. You shouldn't punish yourself for that. And try to reach out, talk to people you trust, and because so many people are dealing with their emotions alone, and you don't have to. This is also an advice for myself.
That's usually how it is. Like all my content is like just me
Yeah.
talking to myself, my younger self.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why you connect, because you connect with my
Yeah.
my younger healing self.
Yeah.
But I think that's a wrap. Thanks, Jennifer.
Yes, you're welcome.
for being on the show. Oh, you didn't do it. So we gotta go like this, and then you go the. Good. Okay.